like it when it's all quiet.
Your turn. You're the movie star. Go.
My name is Wyant. I'm a student at Central Elementary in Belmont, Colorado. We recently were studying the different forms of government. We broke into groups to decide which form of government will represent our class. 4 groups were formed, with the choices of government being democracy, anarchy, monarchy, dictatorship, and theocracy. My teacher recommended democracy. 1. Please explain the difference between democracy.
Okay. Did your teacher ever ask the class, how many of you want to go out for recess early? Of course, everybody would say yes. That's not a good question. But if she ever asked the class, how many of you would rather we study X today than Y? And so many people raise their hand and say, that would be a democracy, where you just take a vote of the people and a majority makes the decision. But it could also be a very bad thing, because a democracy, the majority can become tyrannical. So the founding fathers decided to make us a democratic republic. And what that means is that you elect people to represent you. And they make decisions, and if you like them, you keep them in power, and if you don't, you vote them out of power. But it is not everybody making a decision on every issue. You elect individuals. Somebody from your class, you could elect somebody from your class who would go and make the decision for your class. But they wouldn't ask the whole class every time, what do you all want to do? It would be very difficult in a nation of 400 million, 600 million. See, what are we up to now? 500 million people?
310 million.
Well, that depends who gets counted and who doesn't. Anyway, so that's the difference between a democracy and a republic. Democracy, everybody votes on everything, every issue. Republic, you elect somebody to go and represent you.
Question 2. Please explain the downfalls of theocracy, dictatorship, and
monarchy. Could be like 2 wolves and a sheep voting on food, on what's for lunch.
Right. Who's going to lose?
The sheep.
Right. And we're based on a constitution. Right. They have laws that don't stay.
A monarchy and a theocracy, and we said anarchy. Because anarchy is no government.
All right. That was one of the choices.
Well, it's no government at all, and of course things would be pretty chaotic, and so people form together in groups and try to establish some sort of order. Not everybody, so not just in anarchy, the strongest would certainly rule eventually, because they would force you to do what they want. There'd be no government to protect you. So that's why government was created, really, to protect people from the strongest who's taking advantage of everything. So anarchy is no government at all, period. It's wild, it's chaotic, it's riots in the streets. Monarchy is a king. And if you feel good about giving one person the ability to make a decision about every single part of your life, then that's what you want. And most people don't like it. So it lives that way, but it's not the best. It's better to have people, that you go out and work for and get them elected so that they'll represent your interests over somebody else. That's a democracy. That's a democratic republic.
And then you have the theocracy.
The theocracy, well, just think of think of a dictatorship. Think of a monarchy where the king was also the head of the religion, and everybody had to be that religion, or else you got killed or exiled, put in prison. Theocracy means government that is run by a religious organization rather than a non-religious. There are, I guess too complicated. complicated, but you know there are different levels of theocracy. People would say Israel is a theocracy, but yeah, Saudi Arabia and a lot of countries in the Middle East would be a good example, where Islam, you know, Muslims, that their governments are theocracies. Nobody can be part of the government unless they're Islamic. Nobody can, you know, hold any office or whatever unless they are also part of the religion. That's a theocracy. Well, a dictatorship. It's really good if you're the dictator. Otherwise, wow.
It's not too good.
So we've been through about 5.
Where did the founding fathers find the model of government?
There was no model. They created it themselves. They had to look at other things around, like the Greeks and the Romans. But then they added the idea of mixing the republic and the democracy. It was unique. There's no other government model ever has been.
Any other questions? That's all?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's a wrap.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
The 2 points.